Welcome to Meet the Maker. I've got Brenda Jackson here today. Brenda, can you tell our audience how you got started?
Yes, I've always been an artist. When I was little, I've always wanted to paint and draw and be involved in every kind of material there is. I went to school for art, and it's been in the last probably 4 years that I've really gotten back into painting full-time and creating a studio that I love.
Brenda, can you tell us about that time for when you said you graduated school until you started creating again?
I moved to Chicago and I started working for an art gallery, and then I decided I wanted to go back to school, so I was at the Art Institute and got my teaching certification, and then I started some programs in the Chicago Public Schools that had no art program. And then after that, I started my own family. And while I was doing many things creatively, that kind of was a time that I just couldn't spend in my studio and dedicating that much time to art. So now that my kids are gone, I've really jumped back into it and found some amazing programs to kind of jumpstart my art again.
Where do you get your inspiration?
So that's an interesting question because really I get it from observing. It actually doesn't matter where I am. If I'm out in nature, I could be at the grocery store, I could be just going for a walk by myself, reading a book, whatever it is. I'm inspired by everything around me. When I'm driving along, I see these beautiful, magnificent fields, just gorgeous, gorgeous farmland, so much beauty, and I love the vastness and the beauty of those. But then what I'm really painting about is the combination of that along with the human engineering. I've been a little bit obsessed with roundabouts lately. They're everywhere. They're in northern Michigan, and so they're popping up everywhere in my work. So, you know, the shapes that I see, the lines that I see, the mixture of, you know, you've got a highway and then you've got these construction signs and construction orange color just in there in the gray because it's been fall and winter, so the trees are gray, and then you've got this big bright, you know, orange, or, you know, these pink little whatever they are, just popping through. And then you come, you know, and you go through a town and you see beautiful buildings that are lit up, you know, so there's some architecture that's also involved in what I'm creating. So it's kind of just this combination of nature and then combined with what we as humans do to the nature around us. How do we live with it? How do we create these roads and journeys and pathways and mix it together? And where do the edges meet? So that's really what my artwork has been. And one more thing I'll say, the other thing that I really love is anything, you know, if you're looking from an airplane, the aerial view. And a lot of times my work is also about an aerial view, you know, kind of like pulled back in these beautiful spaces. The same thing, it's, you know, the same thing is happening where you see these beautiful untouched partitions of land, but then met with city and fences. I love just that combination of those two.
Okay, Brenda, can you tell our audience what you're working on now?
So right now I'm working on some larger unstretched canvas. It's great because I can just roll these up when I need to, put them back on the wall and start working on them. Oftentimes what I'm doing is I'll start with words that mean something to me. So under this entire canvas, I will write down words that just inspire me, and then I'll start with just marks all over the place. And I'm really loving the way the painting is dripping and the marks are free flowing everywhere. And what I'm really trying to do now is to allow myself to say something is finished. I have a tendency to overwork things, and I want to be able to call it finished, call it done, and start a new one.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Brenda. It's been such a pleasure. Can you tell our audience, I know they love your artwork, where they can find you?
Thank you. Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Brenda Jackson Studio, and also my website is brendajacksonstudio.com.